for the
New
Wisynco
and
team today
exciting
at
products,
Brewery.
and we're here to
New
make a
and
lot of
exciting
noise about it.
products, and
Actually,
we're here to
we're
make
going
a
to make
lot of
some noise.
noise
Is that
about it.
okay, Andrew?
Actually, we're going to
Very
make
much
some noise.
so.
Is that okay, Andrew?
So let me hear you
Very much
say
so.
legend.
So let me hear you say
No, I need you to put
legend.
a little bit of energy behind
No, I
it.
needed to put
Let
a
me hear
little
you
bit of
say
energy behind
legend.
it. Let me hear you say
Let me hear you say
legend.
empower.
Let me hear you say
Let me hear you say
empower.
mamba.
Let me hear you
And
say
let me hear you say
mamba.
worthy park rum
And let me hear
mix.
you say Worthy Park Rum
I want you
Mix.
to say it like you mean it. Worthy
I want you
park
to say it
rum
like you
mix.
mean it. Worthy Park Rum
All right,
Mix.
I love that energy. I'll take it.
All right, I love that
Could it
energy.
be
I'll
the
take it.
empower effect?
Could it be
Let's
the
study
Empower
that and
effect?
see.
Let's
Let me
let's let's
hasten to
study that and
formally
see. Let
acknowledge
me
Prime
hasten
Minister
to
Dr. the Most
formally
Honorable
acknowledge Prime
Andrew
Minister Dr. the
Holness,
Most Honorable Andrew
the
Holness,
Minister of Industry,
the
Investment
Minister of
and
Industry,
Commerce, Senator the
Investment
Honorable
and
Bobby Hill,
Commerce, Senator the
Minister of
Honorable
Labor and
Bobby Hill,
Social Security, the
Minister
Honorable
of
Colonel
Labor
Charles
and
Jr.,
Social Security, the
Minister of
Honorable Colonel
State in the
Charles
Ministry of
Jr.,
Industry,
Minister of State
Investment
in the
and
Ministry
Commerce,
of
Senator the
Industry,
Honorable Delano
Investment and
Seabright,
Commerce,
the
Senator the
Member
Honorable
of
Delano
Parliament for
Seabright,
St. Catherine
the Member
East,
of
Central and
Parliament
State
for St.
Minister
Catherine
in the
East,
Ministry of
Central
Foreign
and
Affairs
State
and Foreign
Minister in the
Trade, the
Ministry of
Honorable
Foreign
Alon
Affairs and
Turlock,
Foreign Trade, the
and
Honorable
the
Alonda
former mayor
Turlong,
I saw,
and the Portmore
Councillor
Mayor I
Leon
saw,
Thomas, I
right,
saw
Councillor
earlier,
Leon
and
Thomas
President
I
of the
saw
Jamaica
earlier, and
Manufacturers
President
and
of the
Exporters
Jamaica Manufacturers
Association
and
of
Exporters
the
Association
JMEA,
of
that's Catherine
the
Silvera.
JMEA, that's
Other
Catherine
industry
Silvera.
leaders, we have
Other
representatives
industry
from the
leaders, we have
PSOJ,
representatives
valued
from the
partners,
PSOJ,
customers of
valued
Wisynco,
partners,
special invited
customers of
guests, members
Wisynco,
of the
specially
board
invited
of
guests,
Wisynco,
members of
the
the
executive
board of
team at
Wisynco, the
Wisynco,
executive
and of
team
course,
at
members of the
Wisynco,
media.
and of course,
Wisynco
members
has
of the
been
media.
a leader in the
Wisynco has
fast-moving
been a
consumer
leader
goods
in the
sector for
fast
many,
moving
many years.
consumer
In
goods
fact, the
sector for
company
many, many
celebrated
years.
its
In
60th
fact, the company
anniversary in
celebrated
2025. How
its
many people knew
60th
that?
anniversary in
Yeah?
2025. How many people knew
Big up.
that?
Round of applause.
Big up,
It's not easy to run
round
a
of
business in
applause.
Jamaica and
It's
then
not
have it be
easy to run a business
successful
in
for
Jamaica and
decades.
then
So
have it
that's
be
worth
successful for
applauding.
decades. So
I think we
that's
can all
worth
agree
applauding. I
that
think we
it
can all
has
agree
represented 60
that
years
it
of
has represented
innovation. When you
60
talk about
years of
innovation, Wisynco has
innovation.
to
When you
be
talk
up
about
there, yes.
innovation, Wisynco has to
And
be up
certainly
there, yes.
inspiration. The
And
company has
certainly
evolved
inspiration.
and
The
grown over
company
the
has
years.
evolved
And I
and
believe
grown
you will
over the
agree with me,
years.
PM,
And
when
I
I say
believe
that
you will agree
Wisynco
with me,
has had a
PM, when I
tremendous
say that
impact
Wisynco has
on
had
the
a
fabric
tremendous
of Jamaican
impact
society,
on the
not just
fabric
in
of Jamaican
business, but
society,
in the
not just in
community as
business,
well. And I think
but
they
in the
deserve a bigger
communities
round of
as well. And
applause.
I think they deserve a
Yes,
bigger
indeed.
round of applause. Yes, indeed.
I've had the great privilege of supporting the
I've
team
had
on
the
a few
great privilege of
projects in
supporting the
recent times,
team
and
on a
one of
few
the things
projects
that
in
has
recent
really
times, and one of the
resonated with me
things that has
is
really
the
resonated with
importance they
me
place on
is
faith
the
and
importance they
service.
place on
And it
faith and
really plays a
service.
key role in how
And
they
it really
operate. And
plays a
when you have
key
a
role in
company
how
that
they operate.
has
And
a
when you have a
statement
company
about
that
their guiding principle,
has
and
a
at the top of
statement
that is
about their
God,
guiding
and
principle, and
then
at the top
family,
of
and
that
then
is God,
country,
and then family, and then
the
country,
company.
and then
I mean, you can't
the
help but be
company.
impressed
I
by
mean, you
that.
can't help but
Ladies
be
and gentlemen,
impressed
with this
by
new
that.
brewery,
Ladies and gentlemen,
Wisynco
with
is
this
stepping
new
into a new
brewery,
era
Wisynco is
of
stepping into a
innovation.
new era
And the
of
company CEO,
innovation.
Andrew
And
Mahfood,
the
is going to
company
share
CEO,
more about the
Andrew Mahfood, is going to
capabilities of the new
share more
facilities
about
in
the
a few minutes.
capabilities of the
But
new
first,
facilities in a
please
few
show
minutes.
some
But
love
first,
for
please show
Chairman
some
of
love
Wisynco,
for
William
Chairman
Mahfood.
of
We bring the
Wisynco,
official
William
welcome.
Mahfood, who will bring the official welcome.
Good morning, everybody. As
Good
everybody
morning,
knows,
everybody.
I always have my bottle of
As
water.
everybody knows, I always have my
Now,
bottle of
Andrew, our
water with
CEO,
me.
is going to be walking around
Now,
with his
Andrew, our
legend beer
CEO, is going to be walking around with
as
his
he's the
legend
chief
beer,
beer drinker in the family.
as
I
he's the
want to
beer drinker in
welcome
the
you
family.
all. I'm going to,
I want to
first of all,
welcome you all.
acknowledge
I'm going to,
Dr.
first of all,
Most Honorable
acknowledge
Andrew Holness.
Dr.
Welcome to
the
Lake
Most Honorable
Spencer,
Andrew
to
Holness.
our facility.
Welcome to Lake Spencer,
To your
to
cabinet
our
ministers
facility.
and other
To
invited
your
guests,
cabinet ministers
our
and other
board,
invited guests,
the leadership,
our board,
the
Wisynco
customers
leadership,
who are here,
the
our partners. I see a
customers who
number
are
of our
here,
partners here.
our partners. I see a number of
Not
our
only
partners
partners in
here
business, but also
today with us.
partners
Not only partners in
in life.
business, but
And I
also
want to say
partners
welcome to all of you.
in life. And I want to say
Some of our
welcome to all of you.
shareholders, some have flown all the way
Some of
from
our
Trinidad to be
shareholders,
with us.
some have flown all the way from
Dominic,
Trinidad to be with us.
he used to
Dominic
sell
Kadim,
water in Jamaica
welcome.
under a brand called
He
Blue
used to sell
Water.
water in Jamaica under a brand called Blue Waters. He doesn't any longer.
PM, I want to take you back
PM,
to
I
Friday,
want to
March
take you
4th.
back to
7:30
Friday, March 4th.
Was your first day in office.
7:30 a.m.
I was
was
the
your
president
first
of the
day in
PSOJ
office.
at the time.
I was the president
Yourself,
of the PSOJ at the
Nigel
time.
Clark,
Yourself,
the late Don
Nigel
Webby,
Clark,
God rest his soul.
the late
Chris
Don
Lack and
Webby,
myself
God
met
rest
with
his soul.
I have a picture
Chris
with that
Lack and
share
myself
with
met
you.
with you. I have a
Met
picture
in
which
your
I'll
office.
share with you later.
And we spoke about
Met in your
that
office.
Jamaica could
And we
accomplish.
spoke about the great
I
things that
want
Jamaica
to
could
fast track
accomplish.
to 2016.
I want to fast
I
track
want
to
to tell you,
2016.
Many
And I
of
want
those
to tell you,
things have happened.
many of those great things have
2
happened.
months after we met, in May of 2016,
2 months after we met
warehouse that you
in May of
walked through,
2016,
Andrew and myself a
the
little
warehouse
while
that you walked through with
burned to the
Andrew and
ground.
myself a little while ago,
It was a
burned
huge
to the
crisis
ground.
for Wisynco.
It
And
was
it
a
was
huge
a time
crisis for
where,
Wisynco, and
people
it was a
thought
time
this
where
could be
people
the
thought
end of a
this could
company,
be
or
the
our
end
suppliers
of a
were
company,
thinking,
or
would we be
our
able to get back
suppliers
up
were
and
thinking,
customers
would
were
we be
worried
able to
about
get back up and running? Our customers
in
were
June,
worried about
the
us.
following month, we
In
didn't meet
June,
our
the
targets, but
following
by
month,
July
we
did.
didn't meet our
It was
targets,
a
but by
testament
July we did.
of the management
And it
and
was a
the
testament
leadership.
to the
And I
work
say,
of the management and
even
leadership
now,
of
I still
Wisynco.
have
And I
goosebumps
say,
thinking about it.
even now, I still have goosebumps
We
thinking about
listed
it.
Wisynco in 2017.
We listed
It was
Wisynco in
the largest
2017. It
listing
was
on the
the
stock exchange
largest
at the time for a
listing on the
Jamaican
stock
company.
exchange in history at the time for a
And
Jamaican
that
company.
single crisis was one of the
And
biggest and most
that single
important crises
crisis
that
was
ever
one of the
happened to us
biggest
as
and
a
most
company.
important crisis that ever happened to us
But
as
if
a
you think
company.
about 2016 until now,
But if you think
we
about
have had a
2016
number of
until
crises
now,
in Jamaica as well.
we have had a number
We
of
had
crises in Jamaica as well.
COVID in
We had
2021 and
COVID
2020.
in 2021 and
We had
2020.
the
We had
Hurricane
the
Beryl in 2024, and
Hurricane
in
Beryl in
2025 just
2024,
recently,
and in
without
2025
fail,
just
nobody
recently.
could not,
Without
ever
fail,
imagine
nobody could
something
not,
so horrible
ever
that could
imagine
hit this
something
country.
so horrible
We had
that could
Melissa.
hit this country. We
One
had
of the
Melissa.
things that I will say
One
to
of
you
the
through
things
all of these multiple
that I will
crises,
say to you through all of
is
these
that
multiple crises,
including and especially
that
including COVID, our
including
recovery
and especially
has to
including
be
COVID, our
regarded as one
recovery
of the best in
has
class.
to be
And
regarded
how
as
do
one
we,
of the best
as a
in
country,
class. And how do we,
show
as a
the rest of the
country,
world that we
show
came
to the
out of
rest of
that?
the world that we
Unlike
came
our
out of that?
Trinidad, Dominic can tell you
Unlike our
they're
friends in
suffering
Trinidad, Dominic
consequences
can tell you
of a
they're still
closed
suffering the
economy
consequences
almost 4
of a
years later,
closed
5
economy
years later.
almost 4 years
In
later,
Beryl
5
in
years later.
2024 and now Melissa
In
last
Beryl
year,
in
we
2024 and
will
now
rise.
Melissa
We
last
will,
year,
as a
we
resilient
will
people,
rise. We
we hear
will,
that word so
as a
often now, but
resilient
do
people,
really
as we hear
realize
that word so
that
often
our
now, but do
resilience
people
is
really realize that our
untempered in
resilience is
Jamaica. We
it's
really are a
untempered
truly
in
resilient
Jamaica?
people.
We really
And
are
it's
a
for
truly
these
resilient
reasons,
people.
as well as
And it's
our
for these
confidence and our
reasons,
commitment to
as well
Jamaica,
as our
this land that we
confidence and
love,
our commitment
that
to
we have
Jamaica,
made
this
this
land that we
legendary
love,
investment.
that we have made this
We feel
legendary
that
investment.
the name of our beer
We
captures the
feel
true
that
spirit
the
of all
name of our
Jamaicans,
beer captures
as
the
we
true
are really
spirit
a
of all
country of
Jamaicans,
legends.
as we are really a country of legends. PM, I go back to 2016. Jamaica's debt to GDP, and I know you know this, has gone from 120% to 64%. Similarly, our GDP grew from 14 billion US to 20 billion in that same time. Wisynco in 2016, from just under 20 billion in revenue to 60 billion last year, with the team growing over the same period almost from 1,400 staff members to over 2,500 people today. 60 years of evolution at Wisynco and 64 years of independence of Jamaica in so many ways are aligned in our development as a people and as a country. This has been our commitment to national development, with over 1,000 jobs created during that period and significant investments in new manufacturing technology and capabilities, replacing many imported products, especially blue waters. Our confidence in Jamaica And our future culminated over the past 2 years with almost $10 billion of investment, including this new brewery, which we'll see shortly, is why we are here today. In addition, we have invested heavily in the environment to ensure that we are managing the impact that we have on it. Today, we have huge investments in water treatment, almost $700 million, right behind us as you look east. We have invested a huge amount of money, energy, and time with 2 of our directors actually being on the board of Recycle Partners. And today, almost 1 in 2 bottles are recovered in the environment for plastic bottles. The future is bright. Just yesterday, I was speaking to the sales leadership, and I said to them, I'm charging you to unlock the potential that we have as we are seeing in our economy and the growth that is coming. Congratulations must go to Andrew, our CEO. I tell people all the time, he does all the work and I take the praise. I cannot express enough my complete gratitude to the production team guided by Devon Reynolds. Devon is probably the only longer-serving team member in Wisynco today than myself. To our entire executive, thank you. And the team to Wisynco, each one a legend. I want to thank our board who have helped to guide us in our strategy. And I would like to recognize them here today. We have Adam, Lisa, and Odetta, 3 of the most powerful minds in Jamaica. Thank you for being on our board. The scale of this investment is significant. With over 300,000 square feet of additional manufacturing space, this facility strengthens our production capacity. It improves efficiency, and it positions us to respond more quickly to consumer demand both now and into the future. And what a bright future we have ahead of us. Innovation for us is not just about technology or equipment. It is about creating new opportunities for our customers, for our partners, and our workforce. This expansion supports job creation, skills development, and stronger supply chain linkages across multiple sectors. Our customers, many of them Jamaican entrepreneurs and business owners, have grown alongside us. And this facility enhances our ability to support their businesses through broader product offerings, improved consistency, and increased scale. Early feedback has been very encouraging, and the opportunities ahead are substantial. It was 30 years ago, sir, that we started Bigger Soft Drinks. And it was right across the river, at the White Marl complex. That facility housed our production and distribution for the whole island. We had 1 line doing 1 million cases a year. And today, the combined production of Wisynco is almost 40 million cases a year, out of multiple lines across multiple factories. We are definitely committed to Wisynco, to Jamaica, and to the land that we love and that brought all of us here. And I thank you very much today for coming to open this facility.
Unmatched resilience, confidence, commitment. Thank you so very much for that, William, taking the PM down memory lane, right? I love that. The brewery is indeed a modern state-of-the-art facility that has complex capabilities. And we now welcome Wisynco CEO, Andrew Mahfood, who does all the work, we're told, as he comes now to share some of those fascinating details. Please make him welcome.
Morning, everyone. Dominic, I think we have some containers out there. It's all right. Just under a different brand. I'll say all protocols observed, but I too want to extend my deep appreciation to the Prime Minister for making the time to come to Wisynco this morning. Thank you very much, Prime Minister. Most Honorable Prime Minister and all invited guests, thank you for being here to be a part of this historic opening with us. This is a great moment for all Wisynco team members. A special welcome to our directors, executive and independent, our executive management committee and our team. I'll take you back 2 years. In fiscal 23, Wisynco launched our expansion drive. This included a new high-speed sweet beverage line, which we commissioned December 2023 at Whitemarl, a new high-speed water line, which we commissioned here in August 24, and a new manufacturing facility here at Lakes Pen, which includes our brewery, a glass line, a high-speed canning line with flexibility for our brewed products, our sodas, our energy drinks, and our ready-to-drink products. This manufacturing facility we commissioned in June 25 within the year of our 60th anniversary, with brewed product launch in October 2025. This new facility represents a major step forward in our manufacturing capability. It brings new employment of 285 team members, 85 in direct production and approximately 200 in indirect, being sales, distribution, and marketing. And this investment was $35 million US for the facility that we're going to walk through today. It significantly expands our capacity, strengthens our ability to meet growing market demand, and gives us the flexibility to diversify our product portfolio in meaningful ways. Additionally, and most importantly, it positions Wisynco within the brewed categories, beer, stouts, and malt, ready-to-drink Worthy Park mixed rum-based beverages, and in the ginger wine category via our associate Select Brands and their ownership of the Stones brand, which is now made here at Lakes Pen for export and local consumption. Wisynco has always been known as the innovators and has a strong track record of bringing new brands to the market. Bigger in 1996, as our chairman said 30 years ago. Drink plenty bigger this year. Water in 2002. Coca-Cola, which we manufacture under license in 2006. Cran Water in 2007, and Boom in 2012. All our brands are Jamaican owned by Wisynco Group Limited here in Jamaica. And Wisynco now is extremely proud to have launched our Legend Beer, a name selected to represent all Jamaicans. Empower Malt, a non-alcoholic malt beverage, and Mamba Stout. Our team worked closely for 2 years, naming, tasting, designing, and tasting again and again, perfecting what we have come up with. And when you look at the designs and the packaging, you can see the effort that we've gone into it, and believe me, it tastes better than it looks. Why the beer category? Jamaica is known to have very low consumption of beer per capita at approximately 20 liters per annum. And for reference, Latin America is 70 liters, Trinidad is about 40 liters, USA and Canada at approximately 65 to 70 liters. So therefore, this suggests that the brewed market in Jamaica has the potential to double or triple in size over the years to come. And Wisynco will be a part of growing the present market size and participate in the upside to come. From a packaging and production standpoint, flexibility is a key feature of the facility. The facility supports multiple formats, bottles, and cans, allowing us to tailor output to customer and market requirements, both locally and for the export market. I mean, in the hotel industry, cans that they can put in mini bars, juices, beer, we can do them right here, and we're going to do them with our legendary hotelier sandals, hopefully. As an example, a 40-foot container of bigger in plastic, which we now export to the UK, holds approximately 1,500 cases. That same container will hold almost 3,000 cases of bigger cans, allowing for greater absorption of freight and a more competitively priced product in the overseas market with longer shelf life. Wisynco is so proud of our people across all areas of the company, especially those involved in our front lines in manufacturing, distribution, those that were doing sleepless nights in this plant. And today, one of the longest serving members of our company is our Director of Production, Mr. Devon Reynolds, with a tenure of 43 years. Devon, you can stand. This facility has been one of his biggest accomplishments and challenges too. Prime Minister, it is an honor to have you here to open this manufacturing facility, which we have named the Devon H. Reynolds Manufacturing Facility, in honor of the Wissynconian legend that Devon represents. Thank you all, and don't forget, drink responsibly.
Devon, the legend. I love it. Absolutely wonderful. Thank you so very much for that, sir. The team has organized a very small private tour. Let me repeat, that's a small private tour for the Prime Minister and a few other VIPs who have been identified. The media who will be covering that tour, they have also been identified ahead of time. And I hope you will understand it's an active production area because Andrew says we have to keep making the product, right? We're not shutting down the plant. So it's an active area, so they have to manage a number of persons in the space, obviously for safety reasons. So we won't have the room to accommodate everyone, but there is a team member who is going around. I'm not seeing her now, but she will nudge those persons at the time that they're ready to go and do that tour right after. For those who will not get an opportunity to go into the brewery, we do have a video to give you a sneak peek of inside the Devon Reynolds Brewery.
Over 60, between 60 to 65% of all non-alcoholic beverages in all categories. You call us the innovators, but the truth is we're pioneers. Today, Wisynco is the leading non-alcoholic beverage manufacturer and distribution company by far, probably in the English-speaking Caribbean. But for Jamaica, we probably control over 60, between 60 to 65% of all non-alcoholic beverages in all categories.
We've always had the desire to go into brewing. We felt in the large expansion program which we engaged on in around 2021 that whilst we were boosting up our capacity in the beverage side of the business, that we felt that the brewing was a space that we think we always wanted to get into.
I want to say that the team has done a remarkable job in putting together a phenomenal first-class product. We work closely with brewmasters in Germany. We've developed a brand under the Legend brand that I think is going to become one of the greatest brands Jamaica has ever seen. And we're excited about the quality. I even said to Andrew today,
I couldn't believe when we first got the first samples out of the brewery what a phenomenal quality product it was. And I'm really excited that consumers are going to see so much more opportunity, so much more variety. But the reality is that Jamaica is on the verge of tremendous growth, and we want to be at the forefront of that with our portfolio of beverages.
I want you to pay attention to the language and how affirmative it is. Jamaica is growing. Jamaica is about to. So that's how we look at development. We declare that it will be, and it is so. Absolutely amazing. Another round of applause for the Wisynco team, manufacturing and product innovation. I am told that you have a canning line that can produce carbonated soft drinks, and that's the first in Jamaica, yes? Another round of applause. We're talking about innovation here. And the company continues to build on that reputation of innovation, and we're happy to witness another great step in that journey. Ladies and gentlemen, one of the amazing things about developments like this is the ripple effect on the FMCG sector, what it means for Wisynco customers and their businesses, and what it ultimately means for our economy. Our next speaker is particularly interested in that macro effect. Please welcome now our Prime Minister, Dr. the Most Honorable Andrew Holness.
The year is still new, so allow me to wish for everyone a happy, healthy, let me think, peaceful. Is there another wish? Fulfilling, wealthy, productive, and prosperous 2026. Allow me to thank the Masters of Ceremony, and allow me also to acknowledge Ministers Hill and Charles and our Ministers of State who are present with us. I'm searching to see whether or not Mayor Leon Thomas is here. No. Oh! You have been relegated. And of course, the Member of Parliament, Alanda Terrelong, Minister of State. And you showed me a picture. It was 10 years ago. I had a full head of black hair then. William, and so did you. And Andrew, thanks for the invitation. Indeed, it is my pleasure to be with you today. Today's ceremony is far more than the official opening of a new facility. It is a statement about the direction of Jamaica's economy, the maturity of our institutions, and the confidence that serious investors now place in our country's future. We are gathered here at Lake Spen, St. Catherine, to mark a significant expansion of Jamaica's manufacturing capacity, but also to recognize something deeper: the ability of Jamaican enterprise to think long-term, invest boldly, and compete at international standards. This new brewery and manufacturing facility reflects not only private sector ambition, but the cumulative results of years of disciplined national reform. For 6 decades, Wisynco Group Limited has grown alongside Jamaica itself, evolving from modest beginnings in one of the most sophisticated, fast-moving consumer goods manufacturing and distribution undertaking in the region. The journey mirrors Jamaica's own economic transformation from vulnerability and volatility to stability, credibility, and opportunity. This facility stands as the latest chapter in that shared story of success. Now, manufacturing matters, not only because it creates jobs, but because it anchors productivity across the economy. It deepens value chains, drives skills development, supports exports, and creates resilient employment that is less vulnerable to external shocks. In today's world, shaped by disrupted supply chains, geopolitical fragmentations, heightened strategic competition, and growing climate-related risks, countries that can produce competitively at scale and to international quality standards are better positioned to sustain growth. And recent developments in our region and hemisphere have only reinforced this reality. William, in his presentation, gave us some statistics. He pointed out that in 2016, the best estimate for Jamaica's GDP was about 16 billion US dollars. You may have confused it when he went on to say that Wisynco's total revenues were 60 billion. He meant 60 billion Jamaican dollars. But the country's GDP is, at that time, was 16 billion US dollars. Can anybody tell me what the GDP is today? You did. It's the best estimates would be between 20 to 21 billion US dollars. And it sounds like we have done a lot. It sounds like we have grown rapidly. The truth is that if you were to strip away inflation from that, our real GDP at constant 2016 dollars would be somewhere around about 17 to 17.5 billion dollars. So I'm just trying to read the faces in the audience to see if that sunk in and made any impact on you. The point here is that for us to grow, our productivity needs to exceed inflation. And for that to happen, we need to invest in plants, in infrastructure that is going to increase rapidly our productivity. Unfortunately, our economic thought at present does not make the connectivity between productivity and inflation. We see the two things as separate, right? But our government policy has been very effective at managing inflation. In fact, what we have done in the last decade with the Bank of Jamaica and our monetary policy is to focus exclusively on controlling inflation, targeted control of inflation. And that has been fairly successful. We need the flip side of that policy, which is to target productivity, to increase the output of the country. There are many dimensions to this productivity problem. Today I won't get into all of them, but just to list issues to do with labor productivity. For example, issues to deal with infrastructure and how infrastructure supports productivity. I mean, let's put it in practical terms. If you have to move from this warehouse and your production facility, and every step of the way you are encountered with potholes and traffic congestion, it adds cents to your cost, which for every unit of product accumulates to the bottom line. Infrastructure that is strategically planned, infrastructure that removes congestion, infrastructure that locates your production facility closer to your ports or give you easier access to your ports, reduces the cost and improves your bottom line, improves your output, improves productivity. But there is one thing that firms can do internally to improve their productivity, aside from efficient management, which is clear that Wisynco has good managers and a good and strategic board that is looking at investments. But that is to invest in your plant and invest in cutting-edge technology. In fact, the greatest multiplier of productivity is the introduction of new technology. And so I'm happy to be here today to witness this new investment, which has certainly introduced, welcome Tony, which has certainly introduced new technology into the production space in Jamaica. And I want to make the point a little deeper now. So when we talk of the GDP of the country, you know, the classic definition of GDP would be consumption, everything that you consume, plus investments, what you do, plus government spending, what I do, meaning the government, the roads, the bridges, public transportation, these kinds of things. And then the net between export and import. So if you are a net exporter, you're contributing to your GDP expansion. If you're a net importer, your GDP is going to be lower. If government spending increases without necessarily crowding out private investment, then your GDP will increase. So government, we have for the last decade increased significantly the capital budget of the government, meaning we have spurred growth by placing significant emphasis on infrastructure development. However, we need firms to contribute to the expansion of the GDP even more by increasing their investments. And we have seen this happen right before our very eyes. You know, in the 60s and 70s, 80s, Marcus Garvey Drive was almost the kind of exclusive domain of Jamaica's manufacturing and production corridor. But what has happened since then, since the last 10 years? It has, you look at Lake Spen, all of this area, as you drive in, you see several factories and warehousing and manufacturing facilities evolving. Just look along the Mandela Highway and right across Kingston, and then look at the near-port operations as well. So there is an expansion going on. But think about it. If in real terms, in the last 10 years, we have just added approximately $1 billion, maybe $1.5 billion to our GDP, as a nation, that's not something that we should be proud of. We could do more. And therefore, I use this platform as I have the attention of some of our larger investors here. How are you, Adam? I use this platform to challenge the investors Now is the time to increase that I in the equation of C for consumption, I for investment, G for government, X minus M, export and import. Let's expand the investment, but not just any kind of investment. You want cutting edge investment, because the cutting edge that incorporates technology increases your productivity. And the time is right, the time is now, because, you know, the government has put in place a policy which allows for accelerated capital allowance. And we introduced this in last year's budget, rather in this year's budget, coming to the end of the budget year, which allows, and let me read it carefully so that I don't introduce a new policy by accident. So the confidence has been reinforced by deliberate policy choices. In the 2025-2026 budget, we introduced an accelerated capital allowance regime designed to incentivize companies to invest, expand and modernize their productive capacity by allowing businesses to write off major capital investments more quickly. And we are lowering the effective cost of expansion, improving cash flow in the early years of the investment, and strengthening the returns on long-term projects. This is exactly the type of forward-looking, pro-growth policy environment that supports decisions like Wisynco's new brewery facility. So I don't have to ask. I know you're taking advantage of the accelerated capital allowance. And I use this opportunity to encourage other firms, other investors who are thinking about it, to let's just do it now. Because the government policy and environment supports these long-term capital investment decisions. But I also wanted to point out that it is not just that the government is supporting the environment for business, but our international rating agencies. In the closing week of last year, all three major international credit rating agencies, Standard & Poor's, Moody's, and Fitch, reaffirmed Jamaica's sovereign credit standing with a stable outlook. Standard & Poor's maintained Jamaica's BB just at BB, just 2 notches below investment grade. And I think everybody here understands what investment grade is. And we're just 2 notches below. If we get to investment grade, we don't have hands to receive investments. So we are getting there slowly but surely. And Moody's upgraded Jamaica's rating to BA3. This is right after a Category 5 hurricane. And Fitch affirmed Jamaica's BB minus rating. So clearly, people who study the global market and study Jamaica's position in that market have confidence in the policy menu of the government, has confidence in the regional economy, and has confidence generally for the outlook of Jamaica. So if there is this confidence externally and the government is doing the right thing, then our business people who are critical to the growth of the GDP, I encourage you. I thank you for what you have done, but I encourage you to do more. So, William, Andrew, great, not enough. Do more. I see Adam there praying that I don't call upon him. I know you have plans, Adam. I know you have plans. But still, do more. Now is the time for us to invest in Jamaica. And the truth is that this year we are going to be impacted in terms of the growth outturn. 5 of our parishes have been badly hit: agriculture, tourism, and other enterprises will be affected. We are moving very quickly to stand up businesses in these parishes and to have the roofs of those who have been affected repaired or replaced. But the only way for us to come out of this is to grow our way out of it. There is no international aid that can recover us. The days of us looking for some country or some benefactor to come and assist, those days are over. We must stand on our own 2 feet and recover by ourselves. That is the definition of an independent country. There are a lot of people who talk about independence, talk big, beat them chest. But you can only do that in this global environment, in this very complex and rapidly changing environment, when you have a strong economy, when your country is growing, when you deal with crime, when the international rating agencies look upon your policies and say, yes, Jamaica is doing well. The days of the revolutionaries who see more of politics than really looking about the interest of their people. Those days, we must go back to those days. Jamaica can be assured that you have a government that look about the interest of the Jamaican people. That when we stand on the world stage, we are respected because we are a strong democracy. We have a strong rule of law. We can stand up and say murders were high, and we cut murders by more than half. We are returning our country to peace, and our economy is growing. Let us focus on these things. We can stand proudly and say that before the hurricane, we had a 4.3 unemployment rate, 4.3%, the lowest ever in our history. And I'm certain we're going to get back to that in a few more months. These are the things that we must remain laser focused on and not get distracted. Right? I want to hear about more investments coming into Jamaica. You know what gives me so much pride? As I'm walking through this massive facility, William tells me that if you walk this facility twice, you will get your daily 10,000 steps. I'm going to check my watch because I walked it once, I walk it back. It's a huge facility. And as I'm walking the corridors, the number of young people that are employed here go home with an income. Some of them might be in school. Some of them would have bought their house. Some of them would have gotten a car as a result and looking forward to expanding their household and their livelihood. That's what we need to focus on. For many years we were distracted, wandered off into all kinds of issues which never served our interests or our purposes. Well, in me as your Prime Minister, you know that the fight that I am involved in is the fight right here. Right here. And we are winning the fight right here in Jamaica. Every day we are winning. We have brought down our debt to GDP. Let's not look at what has happened now as a result of the super phenomenal event of the hurricane. Were it not for the hurricane, we would have been about 60% debt to GDP. We are going 10 budgets, no new taxes. We have stabilized inflation rate. We have stabilized the currency. Gone are the days when people live in fear of what is going to happen to our currency. We have reduced the murder rate significantly. We have maintained positive ratings with the rating agencies right throughout. We are winning the fight here. Granted, there are still many battles to be won. We have to win the battle of the cleanliness and public sanitation of our environment and the beautification of our environment. We have to win the battle about rebuilding our aged infrastructure. Every single road in Jamaica, there's a pothole or it looks like a quilt. We have to win that battle, and we have programs designed to improve the infrastructure. There are many other issues, but one thing we can be clear is that we are putting runs on the board. We are improving Jamaica year by year. And in the last decade, the Jamaica of 10 years ago is not the Jamaica of today. The Jamaica of today is superior, far better than the Jamaica of 10 years ago. So I close my presentation again by reissuing the challenge to our investors, the people who contribute through the private sector to the expansion of the GDP. Now is the time for you to be thinking creatively. Now is the time for you to be entrepreneurial, as you are the entrepreneurial class. Now is the time to be thinking on big projects, not small, timid projects, but large-scale projects that will move the needle. So, William, Andrew, the next time I'm here, you will be showing me a picture or a video of this speech and saying, see, instead of a $70 million total investment, I want to hear about a $1 billion investment that Wisynco is making to supply Trinidad and Guyana and the United States with products, right? That these brands that you're about to launch with this brewery, that you're going to use the value in Brand Jamaica to promote these brands to make them global brands. That's how we want our investor and business class to be thinking. That is how we get real growth. And you can be assured that you will have a government that will keep policy stable and predictable, that will ensure that you have access to markets that matter, and that there is peace in the Jamaican society. God bless you, and thank you.
Thank you so much, PM. Now is the time to expand investments, cutting-edge investments for increased productivity. PM, I don't want you to sit just yet, please, and thank you very much. I have a gorgeous lady here who is dying to make a presentation to you, sir. So if you would come again, please, and thank you. A member of the board. I believe she was described as one of the best minds in Jamaica, and I think I agree. Odetta is going to make that presentation. And if you could just hold that so the team could get the photo up. Because, you know, if we don't have a photo, it didn't happen, right? And that's just a small sample, PM, of the amazing brewed products, which you can enjoy at your leisure. Thank you so much for that, Odetta. Ladies and gentlemen, true to my word, our short program is almost at an end. We will accommodate. Andrew said we have to get the persons who want to see inside of the brewery. We have to get them in there. So we will arrange for 3 additional groups, right? 3 small groups. But you have to be willing to wait for the groups one at a time. So if you are interested in seeing inside of the brewery, there are 2 fabulous ladies, Erin and Vanessa. Wave at them. They're to my right, your left. So if you want to go into the brewery, just reach out to one of them. They'll make a note, and we will organize smaller groups after the PM and the team are finished with their tour, and they'll take you on that tour of the brewery. Before we move to the official ribbon cutting, which will happen at the entrance to the brewery, I remind you that the full portfolio of brewed products is available and here for sampling this morning. And yes, I know it's still a little early, but it's 5 o'clock somewhere in the world, right? Right, William? Indeed. So for those persons who will be part of the ribbon cutting led by the PM, I'll ask you to, in just a moment, make your way to the entrance of the brewery. We do have team members there that will organize how we will set up that. Of course, the ministers and the representative of the opposition leader, Mr. Anthony Hilton, will be part of that. And the team, as I said, will give you some instructions as to how to organize yourselves for that important photo op. Ladies and gentlemen, this is where we wrap things up. Thank you so much for your presence and for your support. Enough love and respect from the Wisynco team. My name is Stacey, and it has been a pleasure to be your master of ceremonies. Walk good and have a